Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this video we are kicking off a new travel series in northern France, discovering Normandy and what makes it a powerful blend of dramatic natural beauty and world-shaping history. Imagine standing on a crumbling white cliff, the wind from the English Channel whipping past you, as a fleet of enemy warships emerge from the fog. Behind you sits a monster of flint and stone that has seen it all. Viking raids, English firebombs, and the tragic storming of the beaches in 1942. Today we're exploring the Château de Dieppe, a fortress that was never supposed to survive, yet somehow became the ultimate survivor of the French coast. The castle sits like a heavy crown on the western cliff, a massive salt-crusted fortress that seems less built and more cut directly from the chalky white alabaster coast. This is Norman grit rendered in stone. It is a muscular, defiant structure, the architectural equivalent of a deep-sea trawler that has spent 6 centuries absorbing the spray of the English Channel and the shocks of European history. The castle we see today was born out of necessity in 1433. King Charles VII knew the English were coming, so he commissioned a fortress that could take a punch. The design is fascinatingly chaotic because it was built, destroyed, repaired and expanded over centuries. It's a bit of an architectural Frankenstein, and that really is what makes this castle unique. If you walk up the steep, winding path from the town, look closely at the walls. The dark, glassy stones are flint. It's one of the hardest natural materials on earth and is the very reason the castle survived the Great Fire of 1694. On that day, an English and Dutch fleet bombarded the town so relentlessly that almost every wooden house in Dieppe was levelled. The town burned, but the flint sentinel on the hill held firm. In our visit today, we explore both the beautiful castle and the interesting museum, all housed together wonderfully. While the exterior of Château de Dieppe speaks mostly of war and defence and is mighty impressive from the outset, the interior houses one of France's most eclectic and refined municipal museums. Established in the late 19th century, the museum occupies the former barracks and the residential quarters of the castle, offering a journey through Dieppe's golden age as a maritime powerhouse. Because Dieppe was a major port for explorers and traders returning from Africa, it would become the centre of the ivory carving trade. The museum inside displays intricate, lace-like sculptures, everything from miniature ships to religious icons carved by master craftsmen. It also features works by Camille Pissarro and an impressive collection of prints by George Braque, bridging the gap between rugged maritime history and delicate fine art. Once you're inside the Musée de Dieppe, you encounter the town's strangest and most beautiful legacy, the ivories. In the 1600s, Dieppe was the ivory carving capital of Europe. Sailors from this port were amongst the first to explore the West African coast, specifically the Ivory Coast, bringing back vast quantities of elephant tusks. The local craftsmen became world-renowned for Dieppe carving. Inside, there is over 1,500 pieces of ivory, one of the largest collections in Europe. It's worth looking out for the Dieppe fans and the legendary ivory ship models. These miniature vessels feature rigging made of ivory threads, as thin as human hair, a feat of patience that seems impossible today. There are also miracle balls, which were spheres within spheres, all carved from a single piece of tusk. It is a staggering display of human patience, though today it carries the sombre weight of the environmental cost of that era. There are rooms dedicated to religious art. Its collection ranges from sombre, highly detailed crucifixes to whimsical dance cards and delicate jewellery worn by the French aristocracy. Another room called the Impressionist Gallery is worthy of your time. Because Dieppe was the first seaside resort in France and popularised by the Duchess of Berry, it became a magnet for 19th century painters. The museum features a significant collection of paintings by Camille Pissarro, who was obsessed with the view of the Dieppe harbour, and Eugene Bourdain, that capture the shifting grey-blue skies of the Normandy coast. Interestingly, the English painter Walter Stickert lived in Dieppe for years. The museum displays several of his grittier, atmospheric depictions of the town streets and the St. Jacques Church. Given its location, the museum naturally honours the explorers and sailors who shaped the world from this port. The museum details how Dieppe's map makers were amongst the first to chart the New World and the coasts of Brazil and Canada. Beyond the ivory versions, there are impressive, large-scale wooden models of the galleons and frigates that once crowded the harbour below the castle walls. A surprising highlight is the space dedicated to the composer Camille Saint-Saëns. Though not born in Dieppe, his family was from the region and he donated a massive collection of his personal belongings, scores and furniture to the town. You can see the very piano he used, providing an intimate look at the life of a man who wrote the Carnival of the Animals. One of the best exhibits isn't a painting at all. The museum is designed so that you move between the rooms. The windows frame the actual English Channel and the white chalky cliffs. It allows you to see the real-world inspiration for the Impressionist paintings hanging just inches away on the gallery walls. But you cannot talk about Dieppe without talking about the morning of August 19, 1942. This is where the castle stops being an old building and starts being a site of profound tragedy. Operation Jubilee was a disastrous Allied landing, primarily involved in the 2nd Canadian Infantry Division. From the very towers and ramparts where tourists now snap photos, German defenders had a terrifyingly clear vantage point. They looked straight down onto the main beach and the Blue Beach. Standing on the castle terrace today, the strategic nightmare is obvious. The beach below is made of large, smooth pebbles. On that morning, the Canadian tanks couldn't get traction. They just churned the stones into piles and became like sitting ducks. From the heights of the castle, the crossfire was inescapable. In just 9 hours, just over 3,000 men were killed, wounded or taken prisoner. The wind on that terrace will always feel a little colder when you realise that you're standing exactly where the machine gun nests were once located. It's a place that demands a moment of silence. Dieppe Castle isn't a place for a quick check-the-box visit. It is certainly a place to linger. It's where you go to understand the intersection of maritime wealth, artistic obsession, and the brutal reality of war. So that's it for today's video. We hope that you've enjoyed it. If you have, please be sure to hit that like button, click the subscribe button, and why not hit that notification bell for more updates and videos. We'd love to give a massive thanks to our channel members and Patreons. And if you'd like to support us further, then why not have a look on the join button or in our description box down below. There's plenty more France content to come, so we'll see you on the next one. Till next time.